Baby, I've been out for so long, longer now than I was in. I ain't saying I'm some cowboy. Right now I'd go back again. But I'm so thankful for my family, my wife and our 2 kids. Oh, most nights I thank God they don't know where I've been. We be painted on our faces, we be learn to walk the wire, where they fed us just like lions, and they watched us jump through fire. The way we walked around in circles, the way we worked into the ground. Well, I may not miss the circus, but I damn sure miss the clown. Oh, damn, I miss those clowns. That's why you find me out here in a place you never feel. And I know that you don't understand, and I pray you never will. We be painted on our faces, we be learn to walk wild, where they fed us just like lions, and they watched us jump through fire. We be walked around in circles, the way we worked into the ground. Well, I may not miss the circus, the way they fed us just like lions, the way they watched us jump through fire. When they taught us we would fear this man, well, they turned us into liars. We be walked around in circles, the way they trained us just like hounds. Well, I may not miss the circus, but I damn sure miss the clown. Oh, I may not miss the circus, I will always be a clown.
And welcome, folks, to a very, very special edition of the True Patriot Outfitters podcast. It's me, Gene, coming to you here from the studio. I was hoping to be shooting a little bit on location. We couldn't get the technical side of that worked out. But nevertheless, before we get going here, folks, smash that subscribe button, please. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, hit that follow. Make sure to follow the True Patriot Outfitters podcast here through Facebook. You can hit us on Instagram, YouTube. We're broadcasting on all major platforms except for iTunes because they charge and we're not paying the biggest conglomerate in the planet any more money. But also make sure to get out there and follow Roman's Warrior Foundation. That especially on this day, I hope that if you're watching this, be it recorded or live, my hope is that at some point today, 9/11, you had a chance to reflect. Go back. Where were you when you got the news on this? Um, what were you doing? These things are important, and more importantly is to remember those first responders that gave their life so many thousands of people could live. Um, and then, of course, in the coming time after, the veterans, the families that went out to defend our way of life and our freedoms. That's what 9/11 is here for, is a remembrance day, in my opinion, is to remind us and ground us again real quick and bring us back to that. So in that vein, we have a ton of cool updates. Man, there has been so much stuff going on between the Romans Warrior Foundation, the All American Kayak Series. We have a ton of stuff to cover. We're going to go over a lot of the nonprofit stuff first. We have the man himself, Mr. Roman, sitting in the green room right now. We're going to bring him in and we're going to talk about a ton of stuff. I don't know if you've been following us on Facebook. You will know Mr. Romans was attacked by gravity on a large scale, and it did some damage to the old chicken wing there. But in true Iron Man Marine fashion, he powered on, powered through, and so yeah, we've got him in here. Well, let's go ahead and bring him in now. We'll get down to business here.
What's up?
What's happening, boss? How we doing?
Well, they got me on bed rest. Um, but yeah, I'd love to lift up the wing, but I can't get it up shoulder high sitting down. So, but yeah, man, it was a crazy freak accident deal, man. We pulled in here on September 8th, my birthday. Happy 45 to me. And the wall said, "Happy birthday, Romans." And it just came crumbling down. So we had 5 panels with a weight of around 1,000 pounds that crushed me up against the opposite side of the trailer. Thankfully and amazingly, no broken bones, just some torn ligaments, torn tendons. I would much rather have a broken collarbone than a torn ligament, but here we are.
And you never wish anything, but I mean, in the perfect storm of things, what if it had to happen, we got pretty lucky there, boss. Because I mean, we're talking literally. That's not figuratively speaking, folks. That is 1,000 pounds, half a ton landed on him, and tried to smash him into the something that looked like a pigeon's lunch.
Tried to make me an old pancake, did it?
Exactly. So yeah, this is very fortunate, and hats off, kudos to the entire team and everybody that was there to number one help get you out of the situation, and then of course to get the wall deployed and
Yeah,
get it set up,
absolutely.
man.
I mean, hats off to Mike Gasparini. We picked him up in Illinois, and he was out. He was right there, and man, God bless that guy. As soon as it happened, he tried his best to pick him up off of me, and unfortunately, he was not able to. And then the CVMA 3/6 Front Range chapter guys were there. They sprung into action, got everything up and off me. Of course, my beautiful bride got an ambulance on the way. Chief had his wife coming over to be able to take us over to the ER. And then they carted me on the boo-boo bus and took me over to the hospital and let me lick my wounds, so to speak, and told me I can't play no more. So it's rough sitting on the sidelines watching everything take place.
Well, and like you and I talked, man, it's like this, whatever this fascination you have with Colorado hospitals, stop it. Okay, we gotta keep you out of those.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Well, so let's, the big one, what we're talking about here, Thunder Mountain Harley Davidson, CVMA Front Ridge Chapter 3/6, partnered with them and with us to bring this whole big event together here. That was phenomenal, man. I mean, the opening ceremony, hopefully we can get some more media content of that up. Hopefully Front Range got some and we got some. We can start posting some of that stuff up. A lot of the local first responders on hand to put that whole thing together. What was that whole event like here at Thunder Mountain?
Well, it was actually pretty cool. So as you said, they had the CVMA state ride that came through Thunder Mountain Harley Davidson on Saturday morning, on the 9th. We had two state representatives came in and speak. Came in and spoke. Excuse my English. And then we
Small
had
disclaimer: there are some painkillers at work right now.
there may be some narcotics on board, medical narcotics on board. Um, but no, it was just a great event all around. Jonathan Wells came in and sang the national anthem, blew everybody away. They actually thought that we pulled this dude off the street. He came in as one of the Stop 22 artists to be able to come in and provide some entertainment. Wailed the national anthem like nobody else could. I mean, the bravado was just amazing. He rocked it out of the park. We had some guest speakers from CVMA, like I said, two state representatives from the state of Colorado, who ironically are both CVMA members themselves. And then they had me come there and I said a few words, and it was just truly amazing. The Loveland Fire and Rescue, hats off to them for doing what they do. They came and not only carted me over to the hospital, they filled all the water barrels, helped CVMA finish putting up the wall once they were on site. And it just so happens that they were at the undisclosed restaurant next door to Thunder Mountain, and Mike and Flea walked over and used their recruiting selling skills and said, "Hey, why don't you guys come over here and help us out?" And they hooked to a hydrant and got everything done. But the ceremony itself was amazing. The owners of Thunder Mountain Harley Davidson, let me just say a personal thank you to them, especially Katie, who came out to check on Shannon while they were assessing me in the Boo Boo bus to make sure everything was all right. Just truly amazing organization. And we are looking forward to working with them in the years to come back out to northern Colorado, staying out of the hospitals, and being able to showcase the Global War on Terror Wall of Remembrance, TPO, outdoor adventure stuff, and then the Stop 22 tour as well.
That's awesome, man. And it's we talk about this all the time, boss, and that is the more we can work with, these local events to help just extend the healing, because something we don't want to also forget on this is last night had also a very special, that's becoming a tradition every time we come out here, is going out to Raptor 6 Ranch, taking a
Absolutely.
taking a bunch of people out there. Raptor 6 Ranch is a part of the Romans Warrior Foundation, large network out there. Ray Dolph, a combat veteran himself, served with you and Steven, and so it's, I mean, again, another Marine. Of course, we get Marines everywhere.
Yep.
And yeah, his beef cattle ranch out there, having a large gathering, that had to be. I really wished that Julie and I could have made it out to that there. Unfortunately, my scheduling did not work out.
Yeah. So, and I'm glad you brought up Raptor 6. So Raptor 6 is a unique organization in our network, right? How do I mean that? Well, Ray and his two beautiful, amazing daughters, they run this ranch. They raise beef, they raise chicken, they sell beef, sell chicken. They have naturally grazed chicken and beef. They don't add any preservatives. It's not any of this feed sale crap. They do it all on the land that they have out there, and it's 44 minutes away from Thunder Mountain. He has a book that tells everybody how to do what he does. He wrote a book last year. He's got another one coming out. The guy is just a selfless servant to be able to help as many people as he possibly can. And the cool thing is, Mike asked him, he served with Mike and I in Iraq. He served with me in Iraq twice. And Mike asked me, he goes, "Why Raptor 6? And, well, that was his call sign. That was his call sign when we were over there. Raptor 6 Actual. And Ray has more combat missions outside the wire than anyone else did on both deployments combined. I mean, he was our, what we call the quick reaction force. So anytime that we needed a logistical escort in and out, a chow run in and out, there was a vehicle that got hit or a platoon that got hit, it was his team that always deployed out there to ensure the safe withdrawal of those forces back into the friendly lines, so to speak. If there was a medevac, him and his forces had to go out there and secure the area, we call them 5s and 25s, to make sure everything was going to go to bring the aircraft in. I mean, literally, this guy's seen more stuff, went through more stuff than you can ever imagine. And just to be able to go out there and break bread, the most humble guy in the world, Him and his family cooked all the meal, wouldn't let anybody bring anything other than beverages. And we all just sat around. And CVMA, Front Range 36, they were the ones that we chose to say, hey, find us a veteran, find us a couple veterans, let us take them out to Raptor 6 Ranch, honor them, have some fellowship with them, make the night about them. And CVMA hit it out the park. They had a vet who is going through the application process. I'm not going to say his name, but he was on a bike ride, and unfortunately, the fuel line let go from his carburetor and just flooded his thighs down with fuel, and he caught fire. So he's riding down the road looking like Ghost Rider, and his brother had to ride up next to him and tell him, "Hey, man, you're on fire." And amazingly, they stopped right in front of a fire department. Fire department came and put the bike out. His brother's putting his legs out, and he's on the road to recovery. So we brought him and his wife out there to Raptor 6 and just made the night about them, man. Wrapped them around in love and fellowship and care, and let them know that we're here for them. And we found out that he was a soldier in the Army, and she is about to go to boot camp as a soldier in the Army. So it's a really unique and amazing couple that, again, the selfless servants back to the community, man.
And it's time and time again, man. It's always serving the community, serving their families. It's one of the things I love about the CVMA so much. Vets helping vets. I mean, that's right at their core, right? And that follows right in line with with what the Romans Warrior Foundation has been about, is finding whatever it is that we can do to help out and make sure that our veteran community is known, that it's loved, it's cared for. So that's super. And it is kind of a unique situation where you have a guy in Ray who has seen more shit than most people will ever even think of, and here he is, this very very in tune, very zen, rancher, man. I mean, he is plugged right in, but it's a lot of his, I think, his Native American, heritage, that's there. We talked about that during our interview here when he came to visit, and that's some awesome stuff, that he takes care of the land, and the land takes care of him. And man, dude, that beef and that chicken, for the first time, I can say that, you know what? No, there is a difference when you taste that food.
Oh yeah,
hands down, no question about it.
100%. It's all natural. There's no preservatives in it. There's no saturation of chemicals in anything that he feeds his animals. It's 100% natural, and you get that taste every bite. It's just juicy. It's tender. It's real, and it's not. Again, it's not a chemical induced factory fed item.
Yep.
It's prairie raised and prairie fed, and it does make a difference coming in. You don't have that bloated feeling, or that, I'm sorry, I'm going to be real, at 15-20 minutes after you eat it, oh man, I got to make the run to the John. It lets it digest naturally, and it's really great, man.
Yeah, for sure. So we had that event going on here in Colorado, but we also had quite a few other things taking place out there. Talk to me about, let's see, what the other one, Hero Stock. We had those guys going on. They're kind of a new organization that we're starting to work with, it looks like, or I'm not sure how that's happening on a different continent to me. So, but
Well, it's crazy because, and I'm glad you said it like that. So the Romans Warrior Foundation is more than just one item, right? We have our network out there. We have our shields locked with other like-minded veterans and organizations. And it just so happens that Jason Steiner, a fellow Marine Amtracker, is the organization founder of what's called Hero Stock. And Hero Stock took place in Nebraska, northeastern Nebraska, I believe. And what they did is they brought other like-minded veteran organizations into a central location, kind of like we did with Vet Life last month up in Michigan. And we had our Stop 22 artist, Scotty Hastings. He happened to be up there at Hero Stock. And we got a last-minute call. Unfortunately, they had a gold sponsor that was not able to fulfill obligations for whatever reason. Don't know, don't care, not my circus, not my monkeys. So Jason reached out and said, hey, man, can you guys help? Hands down, unequivocally, absolutely. We are in the weeds. We're right there with you. So we were able to get some resources out there to be able to help Jason and his crew put on a phenomenal event out there. We will be doing excuse me, we'll be doing more events with Jason and Hero Stock. Matter of fact, there's rumor that we're coming to Murfreesboro, Tennessee next year in 2024 to be able to put on a very similar event downtown out there. And our buddies Stephen Cochran, Andrew Farrar will have very intricate planning details with Jason on that. And aside from Hero Stock, while we're talking about Nebraska, right? The Hunter H.D. Hogan Foundation had their annual golf scramble over the weekend celebrating Hunter's birthday out there at the Buffalo Run Golf Course, I believe. And Jude, just truly amazing, man. So Steve Hogan, Hunter's father, and his team of veteran or volunteer supporters, they put on one hell of a crazy golf scramble, right? I'm talking about there's a broom hole, there's a AR-15 golf ball launcher hole. There's a hole for like a car or a motorcycle single shot putt or whatever they call it, all in one. I mean, he just does some crazy stuff. And then they got this guy that comes in out of I want to say Indiana, and he starts doing this auction, the live auction stuff. They have a silent auction and a live auction, and it's all to raise funds to be able to provide scholarships in Hunter's honor, rodeo scholarships to high school students. So Hunter was a young Marine who we lost way too soon, way before his time as a result of joining after 9/11. And he was real big into rodeo. Him and his father both were real big into rodeo in Sutton, Nebraska. And so Steve, in honor of his son, had started doing these rodeo scholarships for high school students there in Sutton and around the surrounding area. And the golf scramble is a way to keep his son's memory alive over his son's birthday and to get the community together. And it's amazing to see these vets come from all over the country to support the Hunter family and the Hunter H.D. Hogan Foundation.
That's awesome stuff. And a couple of years ago, we actually had the wall up there for that event, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was up there last year, I believe. Last year and the year before, as a matter of fact.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
and that's it's and again, it's just those different entities like that, man. It's so cool to see that stuff unfold. Now, back home in northern Alabama, Tennessee area, there was something else we had also taken place. Stephen Cochran, Sal Gonzalez, they all kind of came together to put something together, didn't they?
Oh yeah, man, we got it rocking out right now as we speak at Single Tree Barbecue with Minutes Wisely, Stop 22 Tour, the Romans Warrior Foundation, and a couple other local nonprofits there at Single Tree Barbecue. Single Tree Barbecue is a location where the old Heroes Den used to be, and they're out there supporting Charles and his organization. Put on this big celebration. It's not a depressing element. It's a celebration, remembering Patriot Day, 9/11, whatever verbiage you want to call today. It's in honor of today. It's in honor of everything that we veterans have put together and sacrificed for today. So it's going on right now as we speak at Single Tree Barbecue in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Dude, that's awesome stuff. I absolutely love that. And folks, so when you hear me say the network of the Romans Warrior Foundation, keep in mind, we're still a small organization out there. We need the backing and the support of a couple good sized corporate sponsors to step in here with us and give us the resources that we need to keep this going, because what's making this happen right now is determination, grit, guts, blood, sweat, shoulder rotator cuffs, and everything else that we can put together, because we all believe in what the foundation stands for, what you have created, Brian, and what you do out there. You've put that together. You've put your team together, and that's we all believe in the same thing. And folks, this is what I'm saying when I say support the mission. The mission isn't just one singular little piece here. No disrespect there, but as you can see, we believe in bringing healing to as many brothers and sisters across this nation that we can do. If we got to do it one at a time, we'll do it one at a time. But if we can do it like this in 3-4 states at one time, that's also exactly what we want to do. And we just never know when the need's going to arise, like the hero stock situation or something like that. The
Right.
support the support that you folks give the Romans Warrior Foundation makes these things possible. And that's why we believe in this stuff with our families are 150% invested in this thing. And it's why we're out there, man. And that's, dude, it's especially it's days like this that recharge the batteries. When you see it, when you see the impact it gives people, it's like, okay, yes, leading up to this, it's been a grind. Things have been tough, We got vehicles falling apart on us that we keep duct taping back together out there. My little bass buggy was heating up when it got into Kansas, trying to tug that trailer around, and you got check engine lights going off on the headquarters there.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's when we see this stuff unfold, this is what keeps us digging into that stuff, man.
And that's just it, and okay, so the organization might have my last name, but the last name isn't Brian Romans, right? The last name is the passion that's been instilled in me for generations before me, and hopefully will be instilled in my children and their children after me, and it just happens to be the namesake. It's not about Brian Romans. It's not about the Romans family, because the Romans family is more than just blood. There are friends, acquaintances that have became friends that have became family, and family that's become irreplaceable. And that's across the country, Gene. And it
Yes,
does
sir.
take a squad, so to speak, like-minded, passionate Americans. Yeah, right now in our network, most of which are combat veterans, but you know what? They're veterans. They're passionate Americans like yourself, you and Jules. You hear something and it pulls to your heart, and hey, you know what? That makes sense. Let's go out there and give our all. And that's exactly what our network is doing. We're giving 110% of everything we have, day in, day out. And like I said when I met you, if I got $1 in my pocket and a breath in my lungs, this thing's still going to move. It's still going to make it happen. No matter what it takes, sacrifice from myself and my family, which at times is more than I'd like to admit. But, and you guys,
Yes.
you've yelled at me, Mike's yelled at me, Shannon's yelled at me, Jules has yelled at me, Liz has yelled at me, and I get it. But we keep it moving because it means something to us. It means more than who we are and more than us. It's bigger than us. It's our team, our conglomerate together that's locking those shields, making it happen, keeping our brothers on tap, and just ensuring that we keep going with the whole helping is healing mentality. Because each and every time we're able to help a fellow veteran, first responder, Gold Star family member, or even a patriotic American, it heals our heart and soul just a little bit more.
100%, man. And that's that's a great segue, because I would like to do this, if you don't mind, this introduction right here, live for the first time. I have sitting, and he just decided, blip. I think he tried to mute. So we'll give him a second here. We have in the green room a couple guests joining us here. Not guests, this family basically at this point. Here he is. He's back.
I don't know what I hit my fat finger the wrong button.
So I was just getting ready to say, I wanted to introduce you, number one, fellow Marine, Mr. Booth, and also a very, very good friend of ours here, Mr. Jay Harmon. When you were talking about patriotic Americans, Josh has just, and the entire nation, basically, this thing went nationwide, put together a large benefit tournament to help our brother Jay out.
Yeah,
In a situation, and he is one of those patriotic Americans that would literally give the shirt right off his back. He sent in a chat over here to thank you so much for your work. So I wanted to go ahead and let's just go ahead and bring these guys in here. Bring
absolutely. Let's
in
do it.
Mr. Booth. More Marines to the show.
I don't know if your show can handle more Marines, man.
Hurrah.
How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. How's everything
Awesome.
going?
You know what? Awesome stuff here. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Harmon. What's happening, Jay?
Hey guys, how are you?
What's
We
going down, brother?
Not too much. I always wondered how you spell that. Ooh,
Well, it's
You gotta grunt it.
OORAH.
Don't ask an army guy. Don't ever.
They say something weird like hoo-yah or something, like a hee-haw or something. I don't know.
hopefully I said it right.
Don't ever ask an Army guy when he's around a Marine, because we'll say something that they don't like.
Yeah, always.
That's what I was referencing. No, we got love for everybody out there. I love watching Army and Marine guys start to chat. Especially you combat guys. That's some fun stuff right there.
All it takes is one to get us going, and then, my God, watch out.
That's right. That's right.
I grew up in Virginia, a lot of Navy down there, so they gave everybody a ride. I mean, that's what they always said.
That's right.
Yeah,
Big, great taxi cab.
That's what they're there for.
Is it? I told you that one time I heard that what Marine stands for is my ass rides in Navy equipment.
Oh,
That's fair.
Yeah.
They
That's
they
fair.
take you guys everywhere you need to go to do what needs to be done.
The most
It's
respected job in the Navy is that of the United States Corpsman.
oh for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
those
No
guys.
one,
Those
no one, they can heal anything with some ibuprofen and hydration. That's all you need is water and
and clean socks.
yeah, change your
Yep.
socks, drink
Take your
more
stock, take
water,
some motion.
tuck the bone back in. You're fine. Drink more water.
That's right.
That sounds vaguely like my mother. I don't know what the hell. I could swear she would cure like typhoid with she'd take an aspirin and smash it up and put it in jelly and get you a spoonful of that. And that's how you took your aspirin. And that was supposed, I mean, that could cure jungle rot, fevers. It didn't matter. She could cure it all with that. Am I
You say
alone?
jungle? No,
Am I
you say
alone?
jungle. We were all quiet because you said jungle rot. Our minds went to something else.
Right?
I'll be the guy that says it.
That's right. Well, so we had, tons and tons of work going on around the nonprofit side of things, but let's go ahead and open straight in, Josh, with talk to me what these numbers look like, because I'll tell you what, that thing exploded, man. That whole tournament piece here, and that was phenomenal to see. Talk to me about how that benefit tournament went down.
Yeah, it really did expand quickly. The kayak community is a very close knit community and brotherhood all on its own too, kind of like the military is as well. We do things a little different in the kayak community. You probably wouldn't understand unless you actually experienced it, because you kind of got to live it before you can understand what I'm talking about actually. But yeah, and people promoted this all over, all kinds of anglers stepped up to help promote this event, Dwayne Wally with Tourney X and Drew Gregory and so many countless others that were willing to help spread the word and get this
Mark
thing out there.
Marty Hughes.
Yeah, Marty.
He has a huge audience.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and it just blew up. And I went through and I was crunching the numbers, and happy to say, Jay, we got $7,000 for you.
Wow.
That's awesome, Jay. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
That ought to get you a pretty sweet ride, dude.
I was gonna say I'm gonna get some mag spinners on it.
Get a wrap on there with some sponsors.
Hell yeah!
I already thought about that.
Hell yeah.
At least some flames or something, going on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a couple of rod holders behind me.
There you go.
You think I'm kidding? I'm gonna be down there when everybody's coming back. I'm gonna be on the dock.
Get you a little
Shit,
beach
yeah.
cart to tow behind. Hell yeah.
Put some rod holders on there so you can fish.
Hell yeah.
Some
That's
yak
awesome.
accessories.
And it's that power of that community coming together, man. But it's this. I want to also just make that statement though very clear. It is because of who you are, Jay. There's no question about it. You've lived right. You've treated people with always such open respect, and people know that in our community. And you're one of the good guys, man. And that's why this community responded the way it did overwhelmingly like that. Is you are what's right in people out there, and God dang it,
Mhm.
you should be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, words can't say how much it means to me. I mean,
No words needed, brother. We know.
Every donation was just like a big hug, buddy.
yeah, I mean, and that's it. It's just I grew up just kind of a shitty childhood, but it's like I love hugging people because it's just you got to care about the other person. I mean, like I said before, Gene, we all got shitty stories at some point. Excuse me if hey,
You're
I'm
good.
only
You're
second
good.
or third podcast. I don't know if I'm supposed to watch my language, but
You're
There's no
perfectly
censorship here.
fine.
It's just, you have to care about others, and
Yep.
and I told Josh a few times, I mean, I never felt deserving. It's just me being me. But I mean, believe it or not, I've been pretty damn excited to get some wheels just to get a little freedom and just,
That's the key, right?
yeah,
You're gonna get that freedom back.
Hey, Jay,
absolutely.
I don't know you. I've heard a lot about you from Gene. I've seen a lot about what's going on through the different GoFundMe's and the links that have been flooded across our pages, thanks to Gene, the TPO, Josh, and a lot of the other fishermen within the series that we follow. And you said it right there. You don't think you're deserving. That, my friend, is exactly why you are deserving of this gift that Josh has put together and Gene has been a part of to be able to make happen for you, man.
I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate that. I mean, Marty is an amazing guy, but I looked at Marty just Sunday, and he said this. He sent me a text that morning, and he says today is J Day. The guy went to church and then went to the lake, and he got 307. I wrote it down, 377 and a half inches. And Gene, we talked about that last time. That's why I don't have any lunch money.
Guys like him, yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate your kind words, Brian. I really do.
I think Josh, we got to get a All American Kayak Series flag to fly behind that thing once he gets some wheels put in.
Hey, absolutely. Yep, that sounds like a good idea right there.
Right.
2 of them, one on each side.
And it's
American flag and all American.
There you go.
Love it. And it's that service piece, man. It's that that's something, Jay, we all believe in here. And I can tell you, you and I are the two citizens here, right? And we're here with a pair of Marines. And I'll tell you what, it is built and it is like smashed into their heads, if it wasn't there before, to serve their communities, serve their fellow man, serve their families, whatever it is part of, there is in, I believe it's in all the services, but I can only speak to the fact that I know that it's in Marines. There's no question, because they just never stop. Until there is, literally no breath in those lungs, they're going to find a way to give back somewhere in there. So it's part of, what just makes this work, in my opinion, just amazing. It's what keeps it moving, man.
Oh, for sure.
Shit, you got to be that way just to survive boot camp.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Even sometimes when there's no breath in your lungs, you keep pushing forward.
One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other.
That's right.
Well, Brian, we're going to roll into some fishing stuff here. If you got things to do, we understand. If you want to hang out, brother, you're more than welcome to. This is awesome conversation. Totally up to you. I know,
well, gentlemen, as you know, they're packing up the wall. I think we're going to try to get on the road this evening to be able to push back east so I can get this chicken wing looked at. I appreciate you guys, Josh. I can't wait to lock shields more and link up with you, shake your hand, give you a bro hug, and all the good stuff that we do with each other. Non-sexual, Jane, get your head out of your gutter.
No,
absolutely, man. It was nice to meet you.
Jay, proud of you, man. Keep rolling. If there's anything that we can do on the Romance Warrior side, more than what more than what Josh and them are doing and Gene is doing, let Gene know, Josh, whatever we got to do, and we'll amplify it and make it work, brother. Anything you guys need, we support Josh and the All American Kayak Series and everything and anything that they got going on. So just reach out to Gene or Josh, and we'll rock and roll, man.
I appreciate it so much. I don't know if Gene told you, but I had a military family. But yeah, I appreciate every kind word.
Yep.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you for your support, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. You
Yeah,
guys
boss.
love peace and hair grease.
We'll be talking with you, boss. Take care.
Uh,
Drive safe.
what's that? What?
Ay, ay, ay. All right. I knew that was going to be awesome. All right. So now we can switch gears into some fishing stuff here. We have had, so we just talked about the online benefit tournament that we had going on, but we also just completed up a first run trip to the Mind Lands wildlife area in Kansas. And I've had some time to sit back and think about this thing a little bit better now. Um, I have so many pokers and so many different fires that I clearly don't give as much attention as I need to on my fishing anymore, and my results show that very clearly. But this was really the different pits, Josh and Jay. It can confuse you and make you think that it's something that it's not. It really is. If you just look at this thing like one big lake that has many different areas to it. And if you approach it in that fashion, there's going to be certain sections that are going to do well. There's sections that have clean water, sections that have dirty water. Instead of approaching them as a 1,500 different little ramps that you got to run to per se, it really kind of set up that way because it turned into that there were areas, certain pits that were not acting like the other pits. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of set up that way. And of course, a couple of the locals from that area, damn good hooks, but they went out and put up some stellar numbers. Holy Moses!
Yeah, that really it shows you the difference in some of those pits out there because you can have a lot of them. They're just full of little dinks, and then some of those slot limit pits, the 14 to 18-inch slot limit. As I was judging, I could tell when guys were in some of those pits because I was getting a 17, a 17 and a quarter, 17, 17 and a half, 17, 17, all these 17s. Those are coming out of those slot limit pits, and so
Yeah.
if you get in the right one. And then eventually you're going to get into those bigs, the ones over 20, 20s and the 21s. And I've caught many 21s out of those pits before. And we had several caught during the tournament too.
Yeah. What was I think the big bag? It was day 2. Mike Marvel, not like 94 inches, something like that.
Yeah, or 92, something like that. But yeah,
92.
I mean, it just goes to show you how good some of those pits can be, and those guys can sit in there and jack up 90 plus 90 inches in a day.
Yep. Yep.
It's definitely challenging. I mean, I noticed that when Josh took me up there the first time, and matter of fact, if you ever stay at Josh's house, he cooks a heck of a good steak. But
all right. As you can tell, I don't miss many steaks, y'all.
It's pretty good. But Josh and I and a few of the other guys, we went to one of the pits, and we were catching fish, but it was a lot of the smaller fish, and Josh kept telling everybody, we got to go to this one pit. And sure enough, we moved over there. We started getting into some fatties over there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a unique area to fish because it's hard. It's kind of like pond hopping, kind of like pond fishing, but it's also like lake fishing at the same time. And it's kind of like a hybrid. It's kind of its own unique deal.
It's a challenge for sure. Yeah.
And one of the things that I got to say, as far as a tournament stop goes, one of the things I really loved was how the local community of businesses in the towns were so excited that we were there. I literally had Explore Crawford County reach out, and I had a chance to speak with them on Thursday. And he sat there and he gave me the full history of that whole area. And the economic growth and how things and what they're looking at. Keep in mind, folks, Crawford County isn't even the county where the majority of the pits are at. They're a neighboring
Right.
county, and they were promoting for the Big Brutus RV and museum there. They're all working together because they know they have a beautiful gem resource, and they love the All American and kayak fishing because we're little to no impact. You know what I mean? I mean, we go in, we catch, we take a photo, they're back in the water. The fishery is fine. We don't do any damage to these fish by hauling them around and putting them on a scale or whatever. So it's a big deal down there. There was a business conglomerate in West Mineral, which, folks, this doesn't even have a gas station in it. It's a small little place with a volunteer fire. They got a fraternal order of the Eagles. They got a cool bait shop right there. What was it? The Strip Pits Bait and Tackle. Cool dude that owns and works that guy works like 6 days a week, 7 to 7. I mean, he's always in there. um, but yeah, that in a good little selection of stuff to pick up. And so it's like even they were reposting our event, that was in there. That's a cool thing when the little towns are, and the businesses and restaurants and the gas, those places are welcoming to anglers coming in. That's an
Yep.
awesome thing to see.
Yep, they've been reaching out to me too for the last couple months. I've been having discussions with. Honestly, I lose track of them sometimes, but they were all very excited to have us there. Big Brutus was really excited to host us there, and have a nice tournament like that go on there that, like you said, doesn't impact the pits in a negative way.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a great experience. I knew it was going to be kind of a gamble going into it because it's kind of a not your actual average tournament destination style events. So,
Right.
but I think it worked. I've had lots of positive feedback, and a lot of anglers have told me they want to go back next year.
And that's there's an upside and a downside to some of these destination places that maybe aren't so well known. I would say the only downside is the locals kind of have a small advantage just because there's not as much readily information, out there for a lot of the guys that travel.
Hmm.
But at the same regard, the more times we go there, the more we build up that information chain. You know what I mean? And YouTube is there's a couple guys out there that do YouTube videos on the pits themselves, that you can actually get information on, to kind of help you with that. But yeah, it's a cool thing because the pits change. It's like depending on the time of the year, certain ones will fire, certain ones won't. I was certainly seeing the fish in the two little bodies of water that I fished on. They were there. They just weren't. They did not want to come out and play though, other than the 9 to 11 inch. On day two, I had my hands and arms were sore. I caught so many of those stupid little fish, and it was I just couldn't keep them off of baits, man. They were hitting as I'm coming up to the kayak. They were chasing it and biting it. They
Yeah.
were biting it the moment it touched the water. It didn't matter, man. There was a ton of them in there.
Maybe that should have been an MLF style event where every fish counts. That'd have been a little more fun.
I was gonna say maybe. Do how
It
many
might
fish were caught, Josh? You know,
Uh, I
total.
can't tell you off the top of my head, but
Give me
Yeah,
one
I
sec
just
here.
I know it's such I love a challenge, but it's such a challenging little place to go.
I'm going to archive tournaments right now. Mined lands. What do we have here? According to Tourney X,
we only had 20 people.
yep, 20 anglers, 209 fish put
Hmm.
up.
Yeah, so was that 10 per angler?
Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
That's
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest. That's probably the best from the season so far for amounts of coals and fish submitted.
gonna say.
That could be right up there with Moji.
yeah. You
Interesting.
look at
Interesting.
it's certainly, at the very least, one of the things that I was talking with them about is that, the possibility of, if we do like special events or something, that if it doesn't make it on the trail series or whatever, they were even completely fine with every other year. They would be okay with that,
Yeah.
type thing. They're literally just looking for somebody to work with, and they want to help promote the heck out of it. through the local areas there. So that's a cool thing. I like seeing that when people support our sport. Um, that's how we get this thing done together, right? And that's, to me, I think that's kind of what you've built here, Josh, is we're going to work together here in the Midwest, and we're going to make it work, and we can, that's what's going to make us a player out there for sure.
That's the plan.
Heck yeah. So we have that done. Now, coming up next, Felsenthal, first ever kayak tournament ever that's going to be going down on this thing. And I've been starting, of course, my map study's already been, well going, but now it's getting hot and heavy because now it's real. Jay, have you had a chance to check out this area down there on the maps at all?
I have not, but I've heard some stories.
It looks actually a lot bigger than kind of what I thought, now that I'm all Arkansas water. So we're not going down into Louisiana.
That's
Mhm.
right.
We're just staying.
But there's a lot of river in play with the Saline River and
Yep.
Oxbows and the Washita River as the main source. But there's a lot of water in play in the boundaries.
You want to know what kind of a goofball I was? I'm sitting there with my Google Earth and I'm zooming right down looking for silhouettes of gators. I'm looking. It's like, if I find one, ooh, am I going to make a big deal out of it?
So, Gene, you use Navionics?
I do, yes, Navionics.
Yeah,
I run Garmin's.
I enjoy that app because it shows a lot of structures you don't think are there. I mean,
yep.
And unfortunately, I only used the live scope once, but I come to really enjoy that Navionics. It's pretty neat.
That Navionics website too. Well, you can get on that chart viewer and it'll show you where all the boat ramps are at. I mean, it'll show private and public, but it shows you where the boat ramps are.
Yep. One of the tricks that I do that I learned long ago is I actually go to Google Earth and then bring up the timeline photos.
Yeah.
And then I go back in time till I find like lowest possible water levels. And that helps me kind of track down, stuff that's in my strike zone, because I'm not going to go, off into deep water and sit out there and, and jig around and wait for something with a drop shot, or that's just not my game. I'm within a cast length or so of shore. So I'm looking for like culverts, rock piles, brush, what area, when it's super low, what area is growing grass, and that maybe when it's filled up, that grass is now submerged type thing. And so I tend to find a lot of structure that way myself. It leads me into at least the areas that I like to go after.
And I'm the same way, Gene. I mean, 10 foot is about the deepest I enjoy fishing, unless I'm throwing a shaky hitter in it around the dock or something. But
sure,
yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that more shallow stuff.
Yep. I usually, since some things are a little bit faster drop than others, I usually go with distance from shoreline there. It's like if I can't come close to hitting the shore with a good cast, I think I might have drifted too far. I try to push back.
Well, that should work good for Felsenthal, because the park director down there told me that they're going to be doing the winter drawdown then, and the waters are going to be a little bit low, which is going to inhibit boat traffic. So she said bass boats might have a hard time getting into some areas, and that's going to be just perfect for us.
Heck yeah.
So it looks like a lot of vegetation, river fishing, swamp fishing, lake. I mean, it looks like a little bit of everything. I'm really excited to get down there. And this tournament's open to anybody too. It's going to end our season, but anybody's welcome to come fish it.
That's awesome. So it's an open championship.
Yep.
To enter into. That's super cool. We should we'll start doing our best to kind of get that out there as well and make sure people are hearing it. And it's, when I was looking at a couple of these areas, is there a host kind of town right now, or is it like Mindland where it was a few that were running around there? Is there one main town that has the most resources in it?
Yeah, I think from my, I've never been there myself either. So, but from my map research, it looks like the town of Felsenthal is right there. It's about the nearest normal looking size town that's got some stuff at it. But this is going to be an adventure. I'm kind of excited to go down there myself just to experience the area, because like I said, I don't think anybody's going to have a big advantage. Everybody that's chasing that AOI trophy, or was going after AOI, or trying to catch Tyler Cole, they've never been there before. So everybody's going to be fishing this for the first time.
That's going to be awesome,
except
man.
maybe a couple locals down there, but for the most part, I think it'll be all new area for everybody. So that's always fun.
Like you said, in the AOI race right now, it looks like none of those guys are locals to down there, so that'll keep that in there. But yeah, that's exciting stuff, and it's a double-edged sword sometimes, but it's important. I know we talk about it all the time. We want that local angler support. We want people, coming in and checking out what the All American has to offer. That
Absolutely. We
that
look at that hardcore when making the schedule every year too.
Right. I mean, that's huge. It's the grassroots, it's the blue collar, it's exactly who we are, man, and that's how we grow. Because once they get, I'm confident that once people see what it's like to fish an All American, series, they're going to want that. They're going to want to do it elsewhere, and then they get a chance to come fish some new water, and so that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and along those lines too, I want to thank the Kansas kayak anglers that doubled up with us at the pits that weekend. We had a lot of support from Kansas, so that was nice to see.
Heck yeah, I got a
They,
chance to talk to one of their guys a little bit later as well, and so that was cool to see the Kansas guys join in with us.
yeah, we've got Moyak and KKK or KKA. I always do that. Oh man, I'm gonna get
Way
both.
different organization.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Anyway,
Yep, yep.
moving on. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys out in Kansas for supporting us.
Yes, indeed. uh, Live, isn't it fun?
Fuck, it happened.
It rhymes,
It does. Unfortunately, it's a very easy slip in there. But at any rate, so the now the championship, one of the guys did ask this question. I wanted to make sure people heard this and got it out there. It is actually regular points. There is no 1.5, there's no double. It's just a regular points open championship. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We used to do that in the past, but we've listened to the anglers and adjusted that for this season. So it's just going to be treated as a regular tournament with standard points.
12-inch minimum down there?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Nice.
We're
Love
just
it.
going to go. We're going to go to that as our standard. It's just going to be a 12-inch minimum. I mean, going forward for next year's schedule, I might as well announce it now. We're just going to 12 inches is going to be the minimum for every tournament.
That's awesome. And I think there's enough to show that's legit. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand that every fish counts. I understand that philosophy too. For ours being for this trail out here, 12-inch I think is legitimate. I mean that puts us on par with Bassmaster. It puts us on par with Hobie. And it makes sense out there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's kind of becoming the national norm.
Yep, for sure. So one of the cool pieces here also coming up is we're already starting to talk, and I have yet to give you something that you asked me for. I got my schedule just like got run over by my train of thought. Choo choo. And so I'll still put that little flyer together that we talked about. I remembered that I forgot it. So, but we're talking and already getting the news out there about the All American Kayak Classic.
Yep,
The
the
hands
heart of
down,
the Midwest.
exactly the largest event, kayak event in the Midwest that takes place. One of the largest in the entire nation that goes off each year. It's up there. This is one that is not just about fishing, man. I mean, not individual fishing. There is team aspect, there's state representation, there's club representation. There is amazing stories that come from this that people tell. Even out here in Colorado, the clubs get together and they get Airbnbs, where the whole, bunch of the club anglers all hang out and
Right.
and cook and stories. This is one of the coolest events that goes off, man. And this one here going to be extra special because we're opening it up even more. Instead of the top 10 from your points, top 15 are going to now qualify. Brother, this is going to be a plus. we've got stuff we're working on to make this an even bigger event on many levels that we're going to hold tight here until we get a chance to talk to some people in that neck of the woods. But this could be one of those for the ages, man, that people do not want to miss this thing. Get it on your calendar. It's the last weekend in April. um where did the idea of the classic come from, Josh? Was it, I mean, it's separate from the championship, right? I mean, it's a different event. So where did that come from?
Yeah, it's a completely its own thing all by itself. That was just kind of born, it's been many years ago, but it used to be um, down on Lake Fork in Texas. They used to host a tournament of champions. This was the tournament of champions before Hobie BOS came about, and and kind of took that over. And it was the best 5 anglers from each club was invited to come down to Texas to fish in this championship tournament, and
Nice.
it was really cool. And my first 2 years of kayak fishing, I made it, and I went down there, and it was one of the greatest things. I mean, I went to the national, back then too, KBF was about the only national player in the game. And so
Right.
the national championship was a big deal. And so, but I felt like the TOC was way more prestigious and a lot more fun to go to and to get to hang out. And like you said, everybody from their own club traveled down together, got a cabin, the Airbnb together, and just hung out and had a great time and represented your own club and your own state. Actually, back then it was your own state 'cause there's only like one club per state. And now there's
Right.
a whole bunch of them. But anyway, so once that tournament went away, me and Tyler and several other guys, I think Jordan was there, but we were up north at a tournament at La Crosse camping out together. And we're just sitting around the fire going, it really sucks that this TOC is gone from Lake Fork. Why don't we just make our own? Because, we're tournament directors too. We're probably in our campsite there. We were sharing it with about 5 other tournament directors from 5 different states. So we're like, you know what? We can do this ourselves. So we just sat around, drinking some beers around the fire and talking about it. And then it was, it kind of went away a little bit. And then Everhart's, approached me and they had the idea to, Gary wanted to create a really nice tournament for Clinton, Missouri, and asked me if I could help. And, it just clicked. I said, yes, I've got a great idea for a tournament. Here's what we can do. And so that's how it was born.
That is awesome stuff, man. And it was one of the first things that dropped up on my radar when I started doing snooping into kayak, fishing. The classic was one of the first things that I saw, out there. It's what led me then to realize, oh, there's an All-American series as well. I
Yeah,
found the classic piece.
that just branched off from the series. The series or the classic was so successful and we had so much support. And then all the other big trails, KBF kind of fell apart and then everything just kind of left the area. So we were like, well, let's take it to the next level. Let's create a series, let's
Yep.
create a series here in the Midwest to showcase all these great lakes that none of the other series are going to.
Well,
And
and
so
that's where
there we go.
that's where I also met Mr. J as well, handing me out a raffle
Well,
ticket.
I love that job, by the way. I just because you get to again you get to greet everybody when they're coming back, and of course hear all the great stories. But the fellowship, I mean, yeah, this tournament, the classic is just amazing. And you know what? My goal is to try to fish it in this next year. I mean, heck,
Right.
I ain't giving up.
Awesome, man.
I
Man,
And
also
that's,
want to I also want to thank the city of Clinton for giving us an awesome venue there at the Benson Center. That's a
oh
really
man.
great place.
for sure.
That's a beautiful place to have an award ceremony. Plenty of everything: parking space, big stage, big lights. It's amazing. So we're really grateful for the city of Clinton to help us put this on each year.
Well, and that's how we get it done. We talked about that at the beginning of this thing, is when we work together with those folks. So hopefully some of our ideas and things we want to bring to this event, we can get the, City of Clinton, the Chamber of Commerce, Everhart's, the local businesses, the local VFWs. We can get everybody coming together. Let's light this place up, man. Let's make an awesome, awesome event that throws a ton of commerce and injection of business into the local communities there. The trick will be, where we can, have enough resources to be able to do, kind of what we're thinking. Because I foresee easily over 200 anglers, coming into this thing. We, with top 15, if people take us up on that, and really, put together numbers. I mean, we could be talking about a 250 angler field out there. That would be phenomenal, man.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and we're talking $10,000 to first place on the individual side, and
Heck yeah.
depending on how many people sign up, I'm gonna divert a big chunk of money to the club championship too. So those guys that win the top club, they're going to get a big chunk of money too.
That's
And
awesome.
that's another fun part is the club. You not only you're fishing for 10 grand, but you're also representing your club. And this is going to be the 4th year we've done this now. So Iowa was our first champions, and then it was Missouri, Moyak, and then Arkansas NSKA won it last year. So
And
what
dude, seeing those
what
guys, how
club's gonna take
excited
it?
they got. Oh my God, they were so happy to pick off, that deal there. That was so
I
cool to
know.
see.
It's nice to see the underdog win every once in a while.
Says the Moyak guy.
Yeah. Hey, they're our brothers down south. It's all good.
That's right. That's right. No, that's yeah, that's super cool, man. I know there was a lot of talk, here in Colorado. CKB, CKFC were, talking about, hey, let's go out there and put, everything we got on this thing, see if we can bring this thing back to Colorado one way or another, Didn't work out for us that last trip, but who knows? Maybe this next one here is our year coming up.
Right.
Those trophies are off the chart too.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's extreme.
those things are crazy. Yeah, they're amazing trophies.
So this is, again, folks, this is the last weekend in April. It's a now is it a 2 or a 3-day event?
It's just a 2-day event. It'll be on
2 day.
Friday and Saturday.
So the classic is a Friday Saturday gig.
Right.
We're going back to the Saturday Sundays for next year, normal.
Absolutely. Yes.
But this one here is a Friday Saturday deal.
Not confusing at all.
No worries, no worries. Well, and yeah, let's add another one in there. So the championship Felsenthal, that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday this year.
3-dayer, and those are the biggest grinds of all. That takes a warrior to win a 3-day tournament. That's for sure.
Yeah, do.
Sure.
And don't forget, folks, big bass. If we have, if the support is there and the rosters are, if we get enough participation, going in this stuff, you got the big bass thing that we try to, throw in there when possible. I remember that at La Crosse a couple of years ago when our championship was up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept me there for the 3rd day. I stayed and fished. I didn't make the cut, but you were allowed to stay and try to, go for it. And I found the biggest nest of topwater bites of 17-inch bass that I've ever found in La Crosse. And that's all I could do is 17-inch fish, but I stayed up till noon on day 3, just knowing that, hey man, one fish has got some gas money sitting on him right there.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing that at the Classic as well. We're going to be looking at doing at least $100 per hour big bass pot.
That would be awesome. And that's a cool deal, when you have those opportunities like that. One thing I wanted to bring up here, I wanted to get Jay's call on this. I wanted to get your feeling on this. It is one of or actually it's 2 of the rule changes we have coming up. We've spoken about this. We've told people about this, but I'm telling you right now, I am so freaking giddy and excited about these 2 format adjustments here. I want to go on record, man, and saying that I do believe this could be, I hate to use this word, but this could be a game changer. And I think once guys get a chance to fish this, guys and gals, I think anglers are going to, of course you're going to have your group out there. There's going to be always a small group that doesn't like change and is going to squawk, squawk, squawk. Just give it a try is all I'm saying, because I'm telling you right now, and what the thing I'm talking about is this. We found the balance. Josh has come up with where we've got the balance for the 1 day or 2 day conversation. We're going to have day 1 a full standard day. Day 2 is like a 2/3 day. Okay, we're only knocking off like 3 hours off the day there. So we're going to end at noon on day 2. But here's the big part to me that just says excitement. You're normally judged on your 10 best fish, 5 from each day. With next year's rule adjustment, we're saying you're judged on your 10 best fish regardless of the day you got them. Dude,
Yeah.
what that means is you can go out and squawk on
Right.
day 1. You wake up on Sunday morning, you have a legitimate shot at winning this event still.
Yep.
No reason to leave. Get out there, get your head down, and go bag them up, and you could be in the money from this thing. Dude, I think this is a massive change that I don't think folks realize just yet how exciting this is going to be and what this is going to bring to the field.
It's
You
going
know,
to give everybody a lot more options. You can maybe if you can't, maybe you can't even fish on Saturday, and you can only get there on Sunday, but you still got a shot to go out there and still cash a check, or vice versa. You know, you can't fish on Sunday, but you go out there and do really good on Saturday and just let it ride, or go both days, go out and fish all day on Saturday, and then try to go out Sunday and cull some more fish. But it's definitely different, and I hope anglers like it, because I put a lot of thought into it. That's for sure.
hell yeah. And that's the thing. It's not that big of a change from the norm. It's just a little extra to this that, in my opinion, just it's going to make it even more satisfying to win that thing, man, in my
Right.
opinion, because everybody's got a shot at this thing down to the last buzzer. I mean, you're there with this thing.
And
Jay,
you've
what?
also got a little bit of extra time to drive home on Sunday too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Jay, what do you think about this thing, man?
I love it. The only thing I would say is I probably should talk to Marty, his pastor, and make sure church on Sunday runs late, because he'll go out there and smash them like he did this past weekend. Yeah, still, I love that guy. Go to church and then go fishing and win. But that's the thing. And you got to twist it up a little bit. And sometimes that. I see. I look at it as, again, a challenge or a change. To me is exciting. It's just one more thing to get me pumped up to try harder.
Yep.
And I think that's how you need to look at it, because I enjoy that.
I love the fact that it separates us.
Yep.
I mean, we look at, I mean, Josh, you've done extensive work with Steve and AJ to make sure that our schedules don't conflict with them. We don't look at them as a stark competitor. We're all in this thing trying to do the same thing, provide products out there. And so when we're working together like that, this is a cool thing that kind of gives us a little bit difference. There's a little bit of a different, feel for this right here. And it's not gimmicky. It's not, no, this is just hey, we're just saying 10 total fish whenever you want to bag them up. Dude,
Yep.
there's been guys, I know guys that have gone out and put up 94, 95 inches and then leave and go make lunch,
Right?
for the
Yeah.
entire Airbnb.
Knock it out in the first day in the morning, then just go get you some food and go sit and chill
Yeah.
in the Airbnb and relax and watch some TV.
May or
Like-
may
like-
not have heard a story about a guy that went out, did some fishing, smacked a bunch, went and, coached baseball for 2 hours, came back and finished up his day. Seriously, I've heard this. I've heard that story, and I'm sitting here going, "You jerk!"
That's how I am. Before I stop hunting, you go out there and you're sitting in a blind shiver and your nuts off, and the guy next to you, he shot a deer 15 minutes after, light. So it's like, but I love it. I think
Yeah.
Josh is Tyler, all of them are doing such an amazing job to make it exciting for all anglers, not just your heavy sticks.
Yep.
I think that is so much more challenging.
And that's the piece, man. Is it's a playing field leveler in my opinion, and You know, we want people at these award ceremonies. I mean, because we're trying to make these award ceremonies an awesome time for anglers to show up, whether or not you're in the money or not. Show up if we can arrange it. I mean, we've talked about this. I'm spreading the word that no, man, we want to actually have some food there. Have a couple giveaways that can be done. Great time to network with people. You know, other anglers, talk to people. You know, if we have other resources we can share, heck yeah. I mean, that's going to be part of it. You know, we want this to be a cool deal. And then you can still get on the road, you know, on Sunday and still be on your way home sooner than what you would have before. So this
Yep.
could be, I think this could be a ton of fun to watch it unfold. And who knows, it could be that guy coming from 20th place all of a sudden just bagged him, because once we go black on Tourney X, you just don't know what come out of it. Literally, that's what I'm thinking, is like, put that scenario in your head. You have no idea. It's not going to be which one of the top three got it. Who knows, dude? It could be some guy from 30th or 50th place just landed on a bag of them and just said,
Right.
time to work.
Could
This
even
is-
keep the leaderboard turned off on day 2 altogether, so that nobody even knows what's going on.
I actually like that idea.
Yeah.
I really do. Every
know,
time
so-
I looked at the leaderboard, I started shaking more. So it's like, I don't even worry about it anymore. You know, it's like, I like that idea.
I wanted to share real quick one story I have of you, Jay, because this was actually, I don't know if you even remembered that, if it was me or not. We were at Truman Reservoir at the Classic, and you and I passed each other. We were working the same shoreline. You were working a little faster than me. I was kind of picking it apart slow. But you come down this one side and you said, oh, you and I had never met before. We were just two anglers out there. You chatted with me. You told me a couple things, and you flat out told me, you're like, go back around that other corner over there, and I'll tell you, I got a couple good bites, but I lost them, but they're right in there.
Hey, and that's it. That's what you need to do. You know,
Dude, I went in there and I pulled one of my keeper fish on that second day.
Oh.
I pulled it right out of there just where you told me. I'm like, is this guy giving me the real juice on this?
Oh, yeah.
And I almost feel bad, but he told me go fish it over there, because you told me you were going to keep going. It wasn't, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour later, you come back the other way, and I was working back the other way.
Right.
We said hi to each other again. And, you know, it's like I said, it took me forever to realize, wait a minute, that was Jay. After I met you at giving away the tickets there, I'm like, hey, you're the dude that I ran into out there.
I love doing that. You know, again, I love sharing bait secrets. You know, some of these fishing, I go way around them. You know, give them some space. Whether you're in first place or 30th, you know, it's just you got to be courteous. But yeah, I love sharing that, because I would hope somebody would do that for me. You know, hell, if I'm having a bad day, you know, all those fish all those dinks you caught this past weekend, that to me is hey, you had a fun day.
Oh, I felt like I put in work, brother. Trust me. I got done going, my thumbs are all tore up. My arms are sore. I got 15 inches up on the damn board. Yeah, I hit one keeper fish that second day on that little, and I thought, because that was the first fish I hit on a buzzbait, and I thought, ooh, I figured it out. I got me the spot, because it was like maybe 5 casts in. I got that critter, and I was like, yeah, dog, we found something today. Yeah, dog. No, we didn't. we found the biggest fish in the whole damn place right in the morning, and then after that, gone.
Yeah, that's happened to me before too.
But you know, it helps that the places are so beautiful, and each pit kind of has its own little unique, personality, if you will. It's so cool to see, and just the structure, how everything lays out in the shores and everything. And I was pretty sure I heard Sasquatch knocks coming from the forest a couple times in there.
I was going to ask you if you ever heard banjos.
No banjos. No, I didn't get that far away from civilization.
I didn't say.
I hit a pit up north, and then I hit a pit real close to Big Brutus in there, and those were the two pits. During practice, I went around and I did get into one little banjo area, but I never dropped the kayak in. I just was driving around checking stuff out. But yeah, no, my pits were stripped. That much is certain. The ones that I chose, they were the wrong ones. But again, had a great time. Awesome meeting people and networking. And Josh gave me a good run at trying to be the MC down there, so that was good to kind of get that off the the nerves shaken off to figure to make sure. I still noticed a lot of times I didn't mention certain things like how much money they won. I did try to help Marvel out. I don't know if you noticed it on the interview. He won like 700 and some odd dollars for second place, but he only told his wife 500.
Yeah.
And so at the end of his interview, I'm like, "Congratulations on the 500, Mike."
Yeah. And now you just ruined it.
I now idea if she's watching the podcast, how did I know she was that good of a fan, right?
I did that for 30 years. My wife worked for the same company, and I always told my bosses, like, there's no way to keep my bonus away from the wife. But, she always knew when payday was.
Yep, I remember that. Well, listen, gentlemen, that's some awesome stuff, dude. We got the championship coming up. Going to be an awesome way to close things out for the All American for this season. Can't wait to do that. We're going to crown an angler of the year down there in Felsenthal. Hopefully, we get a bunch of anglers out there taking a bunch of pictures of that area so we can really take a good look at it and see. When you never know when we come across one of those places that just checks out to be something that, man, we should keep it on the schedule because people love it. That's always a good thing to see. So, but folks, make sure get out there, follow the All American Kayak Series page. You can see all the cool stuff that is going on out there. If you're in the Minelands area, absolutely go to Big Brutus. I'm telling you right now, that monster machine. The best picture was the one you took, Josh, of the people standing on the stage. That is the first thing that kind of gives you an idea of just how massive that thing is.
I know, and it's all electric, and it was made way back when. It's old and electric. That's some crazy technology.
Well, and I asked the one of the managers there about how great a shape. I was like, "How do you guys clean that thing?" As big as it is. And she's like, apparently last year they just got the orange done, the paint, and then literally 2 weeks before we got there, someone had come in and taken care of the black. They had just repainted the black, the pinstripes, and then the lower body of it. So yeah, it takes a village to keep old Brutus looking sharp as he is.
And some big ladders.
Dude, I'm saying some bucket trucks. Yeah, how do you get up to something like that? I don't know, local fire department maybe that has a ladder truck. I don't know how the heck you get up like that. That is.
Yeah, I also want to thank all the sponsors that donated products to for the Jace tournament. We had a lot of good giveaways, and also Tourney X waiving their fees so that we could donate all this money and get it to Jay. PayPal, they still took out their cut. It depended on how much your donation was, but they could take anywhere from $4 to $7 depending on how much your pay was or entry. So, that always comes right off the top. But I was so happy when I crunched the numbers, and I'm like, whoa, we're right there at $7,000. We're going to call it $7,000. So super happy about that, buddy.
I can't. Yeah.
We wanted 6 and we got 7.
Yeah. And I'm going to try hard not to cry again. So much love and hugs to everyone. It's, it's gonna. My wife was crying. It's like it's just she knew how important it was to me. And that's now I can get out there and get some spinners.
Hell yeah. We're going to need to, once we see it, once you get it, then we can, we'll put some ideas together what we can do to trick this thing out. how close are you to Truman? Where are you
Uh,
at in proximity?
I'm about an hour and a half from Clinton, so
Oh, okay.
not it's a couple hours. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not horrible. So,
All right.
but
Well, I figured that might be a good time to, check some things out. Maybe we can find, a detailed body shop around there that.
I would love to do it. I'm telling you, some stitching on the back. F.U. Parkinson's, something like that. I don't know.
I
Just
love you,
don't
man.
don't put glitter on it. Don't turn it
Oh
into a
yeah,
glitter rocket.
I'm not doing that.
We'll deck it
You
out
don't
with
want
some
it to look
good.
like a bass boat or anything like that.
We'll
No.
get some yak attack stuff on there just to make sure she's screaming right.
And believe it or not, I was serious. I seen a couple of rod holders I could probably mount to the back of that chair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my wheels is turning, and I've been blowing Josh's phone up with all kinds of cool pictures of wheelchairs. So it's like, hey, I think you can see how. I mean, everything to me is exciting anymore. It's like, screw it. What, you know, I've already been through the bad crap. Let's just enjoy life.
That's awesome, man.
But
Well,
yeah,
good stuff.
I can't thank everyone enough. I mean, they're so. I put an email together today. I mean, because for me, it is hard to sit there and write out an email because it's like, even though it's not stress, it's emotional, and the more emotional you get, the more you shake. But I mean, I just listed just a small portion of the people, and it's like there's so many others that just come together to support me, and it touches my heart. So,
That's awesome, man. And Josh, you are a man among men, sir. The way you move into action and the things that you do, not just for the anglers, but for Jay, for all of us out there, man. I've seen it firsthand, and I mean, putting that stuff together like that to from you were what was it, like 6 straight hours, 3 days in a row of judging fish for all the different series you had to go through, brother. That is, and that's, I always tell you that's why, yeah, it's why he has the great parking spot at work.
right.
The presidential parking spot there. For people that don't realize, this is not, this is not a paycheck drawing maneuver. You do this for the anglers, man, and that's a huge thing. So that's
Yeah,
much,
for
much
sure.
kudos. So
Thank you.
you bet. All right, folks. Listen, we've run about an hour and a half. This is one of the longer ones we've done, but I told you at the beginning of this thing, we had a ton of stuff to go over. So maybe you're watching this in a couple break pieces there. However, it goes down. This is hopefully you've enjoyed the information we've shared with you here. Be watching for us in a couple weeks. I've got a local event here that we'll be doing with the CKB, our championship for Bassmaster. We got that going on at Horsetooth State Championship. But then we're going to be on our way to the Dirty South. And we're going to get down there. And I'm hoping that heat takes a little bit of a break and we get just a little bit of fall starting to kick in there. That would be good.
I think we will. It's already started here where I'm at. It's starting to cool off. So
That's good because you were not joking. There was a couple days there where it was like good night. That's just
I know it was brutal.
super warm.
Yeah, I think
So
those days are over for now. So thanks for everything, man.
you bet. So we'll let me see here. I will make sure that I get with you guys right after we roll out of this here, folks. Make sure to like the pages. Make sure to hit the subscribes, the follows, the likes. It is a huge support for us out there. As always, folks. Tight lines. Be safe.